Welcome back to theZoomer. When it comes to travel, a common nightmare that faces all travelers is the hassle at the airport. So what can you do to prepare to ensure you have a smooth airport experience? And how does that unfold if you have a disability or you need devices?
It's huge. So some people are not comfortable disclosing their disability, invisible or visible. But if you are comfortable, let it be known from the minute you book your ticket that you have a disability, flag the file, and then when you get to the airport, get there even earlier. If they say domestic or international, 2 to 3 hours, put in an extra hour to get there. When you check in, let them know you have a disability. And every gate you go to, let them know, because there is a big kind of broken telephone that happens. And if you have a mobility impairment, you need a special chair to get on the aircraft. Often it's lost, they can't find it, and when it's time to board, they can't find the chair to get you on, so you're holding back the whole plane. It becomes very stressful. So disclose as much as you can, get there early. And the nice thing is when you tell people you have a disability, you scoot through the customs, you scoot through all the security much faster, so there are some benefits as well.
Now, even if you don't have a disability, if you're older, I haven't been through an airport for a while, unfortunately, but the last time I was, literally we spent 3 hours on our feet waiting to get through security. So first of all, has that situation gotten any better? And even for an older person who has no disability, that would be really tough.
It has gotten better to some extent. What time you go to the airport sometimes makes a lot of difference. You think that if you show up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. that it's going to be fine, but it's really busy.
Yeah.
If you show up at 10:30 in the morning, it's actually quite pleasant. So depending on the time of day that you need to be there, will determine how long you're going to spend.
Yeah, I heard noon is good.
Noon is good, except if you need the passport people, they're on lunch.
Yes.
Oh, okay, right.
That's
How
happening
could I
before.
forget?
Yes.
Not pleasant.
For some airlines, you can pre-book your security time.
Yes.
So you can pre-book ahead of time to think, okay, I'm going to be through security at 8 a.m. and there you go. Then you're not waiting on your feet at all because you've pre-booked it.
I recently traveled with my 75-year-old mom and my son who's 12 years old, and where we went in that destination, we had to wait hours just to get checked in. And sadly, my mom had nowhere to sit down, and we just had to wait. And then we almost missed our flight. So
How did that happen?
well, there was just loads of people there that had to go through security, and the lines weren't moving fast enough. So I mean, we got to the airport, at a good amount of time prior. It was an international flight, so, we gave ourselves even 4 hours prior, and we still waited quite a long time. So that tip is great to know, but for different destinations, you sometimes don't know what to expect. And my tip also, if you have a connecting flight, make sure you have that amount of time, like 4 hours at least, because we had 3 hours to connect to our flight going home. So we almost missed it again. But, I like to enjoy the airport too. I like to relax. I like to look around, enjoy myself there, even though I don't get to see the place. But, you want to have some time to relax and not just be hopping on and off the planes. Or running. Yeah, you don't want to be running. Yeah.
And again, if you do miss a flight, is it just too bad and you're going to have to pay for a whole new ticket?
It is kind of. If it's really your fault. If it's the airline's fault, then you don't really have to worry about it.
Really?
But if you're connecting, say, from one airline to a different airline, then it's really up to you to get to that second leg, right? You can't just. But if it's the same airline and something goes wrong, then they'll make it right.
And sometimes they won't let you book too close of a connection. So if you are, let's say you're booking, I recently came back from Australia, so Australia to Vancouver, Vancouver to Toronto, you couldn't book less than 3 hours between that connection, and we actually did miss our flight because we were delayed coming out of Sydney. But when everyone got off the plane, they had your new boarding passes ready for you, so to get on the next flight, which was perfect. The airline had done that. But my number one tip when flying is to download the app for the airline that you're flying. Always, 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 because if your flight is delayed or canceled or anything that's going on, you'll likely know before the crew will know. If you have the app, you'll also be able to pick your seat. You'll also be able to know baggage restrictions in that country. If there are anything about the airport, will all be in that app.
Gate
And
changes.
Gate changes. That'll
Absolutely.
come directly to you. So
I love hearing the announcements like this.
Yeah,
It's like, you have a
exactly.
gate change, blah, blah, blah. So
yeah, exactly. It avoids that.
it avoids that. All right. We will have to leave it right there, and we'll have more after the break.